barrel. So one for each barrel. Mollycott. Okay, this is like a sealer for. We'll show how we install the shell bearings. We'll need the sealer for that. Over here for the torque couplings, which are still in the unit, but each torque coupling takes 3 springs, and these are the new ones. And with that, you'll need this synthetic grease for the springs. And obviously, we're going to change, since it's going to be open, we're going to change all the seals, and we're going to need a kit for each barrel. Okay? That is the next, start dismantling the belts and pulleys to get access to this vicinity here. And the springs, the torques are all in this vicinity here. Okay, so you're going to take the primary belt off the pulley, the motor. And then next you're going to need a 532 Allen key or a hex key. Some of the in the back. You'll need a small pulley puller. This is helping this pulley off. You need this off, and we'll jump over this one, remove this one, and we're going to then look at removing belts and plates back here. Okay, so next we got to remove the backing plates, and in order to do that, we got a couple of bolts we got to remove. These are 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch socket. And then down here we're also going to need a 3/8 socket and a 5/16. So these ones down here are the 3. On this side, and you'll find that the torque sensor is attached to the plate back here. That's a 5/16, 2 screws. So you're going to read that, be very careful. You can see how dirty that is. Down here's our torque coupling. So this will have to be cleaned up. Inside here is the 3 springs that we're going to replace. Okay, so at the back here we have the rear shell bearing, and that's what we're going to need to get access to. So there is a plastic cover. You just need to take that off. You use pliers or screwdriver. Just to pop that off. And we need that again. So then there's a ring on this. Okay, and I've already loosened it, but you need a nut, 1 3/8" or a 35 mil. It's an 1 3/8" or a 35 mil nut. You also see tabs here. I've already pushed them back. You need to get a screwdriver, flathead, pry those back. Okay, to allow access for this to spin off of the shell bearing. Okay. Show you here. So that's what I use. Okay. So we remove the nut. Now, when we're putting this all back together, be careful with the new shell bearing. It's plastic threads. Make sure do not cross thread them, or else it's useless garbage. So put the nut aside. We need that for future. So then we have this bracket here, okay? We're just going to slowly pry it out. Okay. Slide that. Notice there's a tab down here with a sleeve, a slot with the shell bearing. So when we put the new one in, we've got to do the same configuration. There should be a slot on the right side, okay? Put them to the side. What you do is get a block of wood and a hammer, put it out here and just tap it through. So this shell bearing has to go through into the barrel. We remove it. Next step, once it's out, we want to clean inside the back of the barrel here. Use cloth, okay? And then we're going to put some sealer in here with the new shell bearing. Okay, so I put some of the Mollycott around the O-ring.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so we slid this in. Again, just keep in mind the notch here has to be on the 90. It's free of cloth. Okay, let's reassemble all the fittings. We got our clip here. Slide him in. Okay. Nice and tight against the back. We have our lock nut. Next goes on. You gotta be very careful with the threads. You never want to cross thread this. And tight. Okay. I don't have a torque value for this nut, so I'm assuming just hand tight quarter turn. If anyone sees this video, if you know, please make a comment. These two tabs, put the tabs down, so it keeps the lock nut in place, and then we put our nylon cap seal over top of this. Okay? So do this for the next 3 barrels, these steps. Okay, so here we have the torque coupling, and what we're going to have to do is clean this up in the face, and then remove the 3 flathead bolts that are in here, and then this section of the plate will come off. And in here are the 3 blue springs. So this has to be all cleaned inside, the old grease removed, and then we're going to reassemble it. So we're going to take it apart right now. Okay, so we've got the screws out. You may find it difficult to get the screws out. You may need a set of channel locks and maybe an impact driver just to torque the screw to get it out. So we'll just take the 2 plates apart, and you can see in here the 3 springs. There's absolutely no grease in there. That's going to have a bearing on the torque sensing value. The plates won't be sliding. So you can see here, this is how it gets the torque sensing. Can you see there? Right there. So these plates slide together and move as the slush product is hardening up, stiffening up. You get a higher torque value. So when these get glued together because of lack of lubrication or the springs wear, you're going to get a false reading. So let's clean this up now and change the springs. Okay, so next, I've cleaned it all out, got all the gunk and old grease out of here. Okay, and so I'm going to use this high performance synthetic grease. Okay, we're going to put some in here in each section. Okay, and we're going to place the new springs in here. And you want the backs to fit into the flat end, square end. The other end is more of a circular end, a rounded end. Okay, and those rounded ends fit on to these 3 nubs here. Okay, and also if you have a bit extra, because this is a moving plate, you can put a little bit of grease on the inner face and the outer face here, because these will move. Next, place that on there, and what you're going to find is because of the spring tension, your holes aren't going to line up. So you can use like a flathead screwdriver just to torque it a bit to open the holes, and then you get your. So again, the plates are put together. Okay, put the screws back in, clean it up. So what happens here is we have the torque sensor. As it's mounted, this shaft will spin, and it'll pick up the on-off sequence as it's spinning. So what happens here, these 2 plates, as the product gets frozen, it gets harder for this to spin, and these 2 plates shift, causing the difference in the spaces here. Okay, like that. So you should get some movement, some play there, and that's what you want to see. Not sure if you can see that. Okay, that's what you want to see. Okay, so the way to reinstall the plates with the belt is I always work from the center out. So get everything on loose, do not tighten all the bolts. Get the center one on first, and then get the outer one, the right one in this case, with the belt. Put the belt on, put the plates on, and then loosely keep the little bolts on there. Once everything's aligned, just tighten out all the bolts and screws as you need. So as you're putting everything back together, you're going to put the left side on first, fully. belts. So what I did before even disassembling it all, I marked where this pulley was supposed to be. So then I don't have to worry about the string and realigning and so forth. So I just slid it on, turned the pulley. It's probably not the best way to recommend doing it, but it's the quickest and easiest way. Otherwise, you can loosen the bolts on the motor down here, on either side of the motor's on either side. Loosen it, put your belt on, and then align your motor with the belts with the pulley. Okay, so anyways, it's up and running, it's ready to go. Because we've done all this work, we might as well change all the seals and the gaskets that are the barrels themselves, and do a clean and sanitization of the other motors as well. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so just after you do any major teardown on these units, especially when you're doing the torque sensing or torque couplings and so forth, as previously we've done in our video, it's going to mess up your proximity sensors. You'll have to go in to calibrate that. So what you need to do, two things that need to be done. In each barrel, the temperature has to be over 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and they have to be in the beater mode. You then have to go into the program, okay, section D into the service manual. You need a code to get into that. The code could be 8333, try that. Once you get in there, go to section D, Cal proximity. So the next step, so he is over 40 degrees Fahrenheit, he's in the beater mode. And this is the viscosity reading we're getting from HD. So what the recommendation is for this is we needed this to be about 500 plus or minus 10. Okay, so we're sitting right now at 730 viscosity, raw viscosity. We need to bring that down to 500. So what we got to do, we got a screwdriver. We're going to go around to the sensor. Right here. Okay, so we're going to either draw him in or draw him out according to our HD or raw viscosity. So with that, when we hit the sweet spot, you will hear a beeping noise, audible noise. It tells us we're in the zone. You hear that? Just go check it out. Okay, just that little adjustment got us to below 500. So that's not bad. Let's bring that sensor back out. Above 500. So you just got to play with it for a bit. Once we have those set at each around approximately 500 raw viscosity, we'll go on to the next stage. So once we've completed that, go to your current conditions screen. Right now, I've just recently put them in auto mode, so they are in the process of freezing. Okay, so we're going to watch the temperature drop of the barrels. These are all set up here for HD that cooling mode comes on. It drops below 400 HD, the system turns on, cuts out at 1200. That's the way this unit is set up.